Hello, everybody, and welcome to another fun-filled and exciting episode of Rants, the video series where I stand upon my metaphorical soapbox pedestal of the world, and I bitch and complain about stuff that just plain annoys the living hell out of me, and that pisses me off on a general basis. And you know what? I think I'm actually going to agree with a whole bunch of YouTubers out there that do a whole bunch of video gaming stuff, and I kind of have to agree with them on something. Now, I've been following this entire NBA 2K20 bullshitted fiasco, as it were. The loot boxes thing from EA and such other stuff that all of these video gamers have complained about, like Angry Joe. Pat and Ian did something themselves. There's another guy that I watch that just like faces his webcam, and he's really good. I will not deny that he's pretty funny. I kind of think he's pretty cool. Name escapes me off the top of my head, but I can see his face, but the name escapes me. But I kind of have to agree with them on something, because I've been sitting idly by on the fence about this, and in all honesty, as a tablet gamer, I can kind of agree with how they're pissed about something. So with the NBA 2K20 thing that came out, there was this, I guess it was like My Team mode, I guess is what it was called, where you can now buy packs, I guess it were. And they're claiming that this isn't gambling, yet you can clearly see a roulette wheel, pachinko machine, and, other things. And this isn't gambling. Okay. That's not gambling. There's slot machines, there's a prize wheel, there's a pachinko game. I'm not an expert in the form of gambling, but I'm pretty sure slot machine qualifies as gambling. I know because the very definition of what a slot machine is you put money into it and you pull a lever and you hope to get something back, though there are times where you will not. Now, I remember as a kid, I went to Seaside Heights for a trip one summer, and they had an arcade. Now, you put a token in, and you got like a whole bunch of tokens. So, yeah, you just got like a whole bunch of stuff. So, I did that, and yeah, I cleaned out like 2 machines. Because it just, I hit the jackpot on like one machine, and it just emptied out 2 whole machines worth. And I was just like, holy crap. I left that day with a lot of prizes, because that's basically what it was. You get tokens that you can exchange for prizes, like 150 tokens was this, 5,000 tokens is this. I walked away with a crap ton of stuff that day. So, yeah, that I wouldn't consider gambling. Even though it's a slot machine, it kind of would fall under, I guess, what you would consider definition 2 of a slot machine. But with this, I kind of have to agree with Angry Joe and the others. This is just scummy. Because, first off, none of the stuff from NBA 2K19 can transfer over into 2K20. It's a standalone game. So, none of your extra stuff, none of your packs, none of your credits, none of that shit transfers over. So, that's great. So, you basically have one gigantic middle finger from this game, basically right to previous players. Like, here's the middle finger, take it, suck it, sit and spin. And then you have the process of, well, now we got to dump money into this. And loot boxes have been something that I really don't want to talk about that much, because I'm not a console gamer anymore. So loot boxes don't bother me as much as they do other people. But I'm kind of starting to agree that there's an issue that's starting to become a massive epidemic here with this. Mostly the fact that they are popping up in almost every game. It's become pay to win, basically. And when it becomes pay to win, now we're back into my wheelhouse, because I deal with this shit all the time with tablet games. Puzzles and Dragons, Marvel Contest of Champions, SAOIF. There was a game that I had played a while back called Build Bots or something. Battle Bots Built to Battle or something. I don't know. It was a robot game. But that basically became a you have to pay to win sort of scenario. I played a game called Exogear 2, which now apparently I can't play anymore because it's not compatible with my device. Go figure on that. And it was basically a overglorified, I guess I want to say, you just had to keep flushing money into this. Like, here's more money, here's more money, here's more money, to get better stuff, and better stuff. That game in particular, it's really escaping me. I think it was like BattleBots Built to Battle or something, but I don't know. I talked about it. I actually reviewed it in the one podcast. I talked about it. I sung its praises, and then it did a complete like 360 about 2 or 3 weeks later, and basically made it that it then became a pay to win sort of game where you had to literally drop money in order to get decent stuff, in order to even do half the stuff that you wanted to do. You couldn't just go play the game anymore, get the free stuff. No, it was now you had to pay to get the decent shit. You had to pay to get what was given to you for free, and they spiked up the difficulty and everything else. But there are multiple games that are like this. Anything that has microtransactions. Facebook games, for example. And for years, I did fall into this a few years ago. Right when I started playing, it was a bubble game on Facebook. Bubble Safari. That's what it was. Bubble Safari. I would drop $5 and get a crap ton of bubbles. I would pay the $5 to get some bubbles. I paid like $1 once. I played another Facebook game where it's basically like Shadow Fighters, which was a pretty cool game. I'm not gonna lie. I don't play it now anymore. I don't really play any games on Facebook anymore. But I had played that game and I paid like $1 because you could recharge your energy, and it was marked down from $5 to $1. And I'm like, you know what the hell? I'll pay the $1, and I can get my energy recharged. And on top of that, I also got like a whole bunch of cool stuff that I kind of needed anyway. So like, yeah, you know what the hell? That sounds like a good bargain. So I did that. But I think what annoys me the most about microtransactions and loot boxes in this case as well is the fact that it's become an epidemic. We're getting this in every single game anymore. Almost every new game that comes out that's a yearly basis type game, here's a loot box. First-person shooter games, here's a loot box. There's a whole Fallout 76 thing that came out with the loot boxes being massively garbage. You had the EA Star Wars Battlefront, massive loot boxes that were garbage. Now we have Call of Duty, the newest Call of Duty game that's locked out players for the PlayStation to the PlayStation 4 for a whole freaking year. So basically, if you want to play this optional campaign, you have to pay. You have to do it on the PS4. But there's like loot boxes in that game. It's almost like every game that's coming out anymore has some type of a pay-to-win scenario to it. And I could see why, because a lot of these companies aren't going to be making a crap ton of money anymore because, most of the games are digital downloads. So once you buy the game one time, it's stored that it was purchased. You have the proof of purchase, so you can just re-download the game if, like, say, your system crashes or has to get reset back to factory specs. It's still on your account, but if something were to happen, you still have the proof that, no, I paid for it, I bought it, I just had to re-download it, and then that's sort of like, okay, here you go, you can download. So they're not going to make that much money anymore. But on the other side of that spectrum, you can't keep charging people for microtransactions on any game. Loot boxes are an annoyance. It's like, if you want the good stuff, you got to drop $50. Oh, you want to have this, you got to drop the hard-earned moolah. It's like, I'm not going to drop jack shit just because you want me to. I'm not going to drop a crap ton of money just because, you need to make it rain in order for us to even consider giving you the upper echelon for this game. No, you can kiss my ass. I don't want to pay for your game to have it come back a month later and go, here's a newsflash for you. Now the difficulty is getting ramped up and, you pissed away money to get to where you are. Well, now you're screwed because you didn't do it the hard way. There are a few games where microtransactions really don't affect the overall gameplay. It just makes it so that you can advance a little faster, get some better characters, but overall you have the same ranking and you have the same skill and randomness as an average player that isn't putting money into the game. But then at the same time, you have these other games that it's like, no, you're going to drop a shit ton of money into this, you're going to piss up the cash, or else. And the or else is usually you're going to pay through the nose. And I'm not paying for a crap ton of stuff. But then you have the loot boxes now where it's like, it's bona fide gambling. So it's basically you're buying one game, but secretly you're playing a gambling thing. And I know somebody out there is going to go, well, the Pokemon games had gambling. Yeah, but I'm going to go back to definition 2 here. Basically, that was gambling that doesn't affect real-world currency. See, with Pokemon, at least in my opinion, and I want to stress this is my opinion. Pokemon, Golden Sun, all 3 of the Golden Sun games, Pokemon, and a few other games, they had what's called in-game currency. Stuff that you earn throughout the game that you can use for stuff in the game. Like the gold that you get for defeating monsters. Or, the prize money you get for beating a Pokemon trainer. Stuff like that. You earn that. It's racked up. And you're using that, basically, those are like tokens. And you're basically turning in the Disney bucks, as it were, into another game to try to get more Disney bucks to try to get better stuff at Disneyland. That's what it equates to. It's Disney bucks. And the comparison between like Pokemon Golden Sun games and whatnot versus loot box games now is literally Disney bucks, Caesar's Palace. You're literally walking in there with Disney bucks thinking, I'm going to blow my wad, and you're trying to use Disney bucks at a Caesar's Palace. That's literally the difference in this. So the old school games, you can consider them gambling if you want. It's not really gambling. It's more like, here's token, and here's a prize. Now, sure, the original games, the original Pokemon games, Red, Blue, and Yellow, are a big... Harkle, and Gold, Silver, and Crystal are a little creepy because in the game corner you can actually buy Pokemon. But then again, there's also the guy in the original games that sells you a Magikarp for 500 coins. There's a guy in the Unova game in black and white that sells you a Magikarp for $500, for 500 coins or 500 Poké Dollars. So yeah, you're literally using Caesar's bucks and you're usually, let me try that again. You're literally using Disney bucks in a Disneyland. It's virtual currency. It's worthless. It has no bearing outside the game. You can't put more into those games because, you could cheat and get more in, but that's not putting your own real world money into it. You're not having an exchange rate of 1-to-1. But when you try going to the newer games nowadays, this is Disney bucks and that's Caesar's Palace. And that's where the big difference is. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Now you have the real world equivalent of you're exchanging 1-to-1 ratio here, where it's literally you're now in Caesarland and you're exchanging it for not Disney bucks this time, but Caesar's bucks. And Caesar's bucks have a 1-to-1 ratio where, hey, good news, you just pay like $5 for a whole bunch of these things. Guess what? Their equivalence is literally about the same amount that you just spent. 1 cent equals one. Let's say you got 500. Let's say you got like 500. I'll go with Magic Stones. Let's say you got 500 Magic Stones for $5. That's 1 cent per Magic Stone because 100 pennies is $1. $5. That's 500 pennies for 500 Magic Stones. You basically did a 1-to-1 exchange ratio. So those stones are now worth a penny. With the loot boxes, you have the game that is basically, here you go. It's a 1-to-1 ratio again but now it's like the lottery. Whereas instead of actually a guarantee that you're going to get back your investment, you're going to get something, which is the sad part. But the problem is that you have to put in so much money and try to get a lucky pull. And that's what sucks because nobody's going to get that. Because the odds are probably fixed up in the code to be one in, like, you have to drop like almost $500 or $600. Then you'll have like, it's like a 1 in 20 shot or something, or a 1 in 5 shot. Like, look, if you buy 5 of them after dropping $500, one of those 5 will be, this rare. But you have to get to the $500 threshold first. And then once you get the rare one, then the threshold will reset back to the $500 again. But that's just like an example. So I agree. It's slimy. It's wrong. It's flat out gambling. The gaming community has flat out said it's gambling. I mean, first off, none of the stuff in that NBA 2K20 trailer is even remotely accurate. You're not going to magically have a slot machine shoot back up and give you the winning thing. That was the magic of editing. You're not going to control a pachinko ball and have it bounce right into a hole. That's the magic of editing. You're not going to have a prize wheel stop right where you want it to. That's the magic of editing. Look at fucking Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune does not have it stop right when you want it to. The Price is Right does not have it stop right when you want it to. Oh, no, 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 my friend. No, that wheel stops where it wants to stop. You want it to go to $1, it ain't going to stop at $1. It's going to stop at a nickel. Yeah, that's right. But I don't know. I agree with the gamers out there. Loot boxes are annoying. I am not a fan of pay-to-win stuff. It pisses me off. I mean, if I play a game, I'm playing it for free. I put no money into it. I take no money out of it. But I want the game to be on an equal basis. I hate the fact when somebody up and has to buy something and they're buying their way into it. That's basically cheating in my book. Oh, look. Well, I got infinite lives. I bought this with my real-world currency. I have 16,000 of this. And just for shits and giggles, I bought this super rare, legendary weapon. It has a 5.5% chance to drop an enemy in one hit. Yeah, that's great. Whereas I just spent the last 40 hours farming crystals and building a fortress, tracking down bad guys, trading up weapons, expanding my experience points. I spent 40 hours leveling my character up to a badass level, going through hardships and everything else. You just whipped out a credit card and said, here we go, let's do this. That's the stuff that pisses me off. I'm not going to lie. Flat out annoys the shit out of me. So, yeah, but let me know what you think in the comment section below. I mean, are you a fan of the loot box bullshit that's going on anymore, this pay-to-win scheme? Or do you think this is, a horrible idea, that the video game companies have got to stop this because it has gone way out of control? Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts and opinions on this. And until next time, I'm Andrew Rhodes, and this has been Andrew Rants.